Hey guys, it's Crazy Comment Lady here, and I thought I'd do an art supply video just because I haven't done one yet. And before you guys leave comments saying, oh my god, you've got so much stuff, how do you afford all that? Remember that I'm in my 20s and I've had a lot of birthdays and I've been to college, and you get forced to buy an awful lot of shit that you never use when you go to college. And yeah, when you have jobs, it's really not that hard to afford stuff. So please don't leave comments going, oh my god, you have so much stuff, and just complaining like that. So anyway, moving on, I'll start with the boring stuff. So these are like the kind of pencils that I standardly use. They're just HB regular pencils with a nice little eraser on the end from WHSmith, and they're really cheap, and I'll put links in the video description below to so you can see all the sites and stuff I get this stuff from. And I recently bought 3 mechanical pencils just because everyone seems to have a mechanical pencil apart from me, and I was like, oh, I want to try a mechanical pencil just to do tiny details and small pictures and stuff. And I didn't know what brand to get, so I got kind of a mixture, and I have to say this one's probably going to be my favourite, even though I haven't tried them yet, just because it feels really nice to hold. It's the Staedtler Mars Micro Pen, and it feels really nice to hold in your hand. So these are relatively new acquisitions that I haven't experimented with yet. And I've got a standard eraser that I bought when I was 12, and I never had another eraser. I've just had this one for over 10 years. Pencil sharpeners, I tend to get through pencil sharpeners really quickly. I tend to blunt them really well, but I prefer actual metal sharpeners. I find they're better for your pencils than plasticky ones. And I've got this one, which is a special, it's plastic, boo, but it's a special one for pastels, because pastels have a bigger pencil barrel, so they're a pain in the ass to sharpen. So I've got one of those. I've also got this manual cutting pencil sharpener thingy. So basically you just put your pencil in, you rest it on this thing, and then use a craft knife and you sharpen it against the end. So yeah, these things are really good if you've got really annoying pencils that keep breaking on you. That tends to happen a lot with Prismacolors and stuff, so sometimes it's easier just to sharpen them manually, but it's a pain in the butt. And then finally, my last pencil sharpener is this nice red one. It's called Crumb. Apparently it's from Germany, but this is for Prismacolor Pencils, and it's really good. It's got actually a really tiny sharpener in it. The sharpener's so small compared to regular sharpeners. It's actually really tiny, but it works really well, and I've never had a problem with sharpening my Prismacolors with this, because if I sharpen a Prismacolor with any other kind of pencil sharpener, it will just shatter, but this one, it's really good. So that's it for the random boring stuff. The standard art book I tend to use is, I pretty much use the Sketchbook for all of my art. It's the Rowney just Simply Sketchbook. It's really boring. It's got 110 pages in it, and it's just really nice for sketching on and stuff. And it usually comes with free stuff. You usually get free stuff with these sketchbooks, and they're really cheap, and I favour them. It's the sketchbook I use the most. So that's it for that. So for my coloured pencils, this was the set I started with when I was a kid. I had a 24 set of these pencils, and they're WHSmith Watercolour Pencils. And I love these pencils. These are my favourite pencils, and they're really cheap and they're really soft as well. And I do pretty much all of my little sketching stuff in these pencils. And if I had to choose between one medium to colour with for the rest of my life, it would be these pencils, because they're awesome. So these are my preferred colouring pencils. I've also got some Prismacolor pencils. I've got all of them. I bought them all individually, which was really stupid, and then because I bought them all individually and they're all individually wrapped and everything, they have a habit of just snapping. The leads in most of these pencils are broken, so don't buy Prismacolors individually, because they almost always come slightly damaged, and then it's a pain because they end up really short really quickly. Also, another bad thing about these pencils, I'm allergic to them, which I didn't find out till after I spent a lot of money on buying all of these pencils individually. When I sharpen them, at first I thought it was a coincidence, but after I sharpen them, if I then touch my face or anything, something about the wood in these pencils I'm allergic to, and I just break out in joint rash, and I was like, well, that was a waste of money. So I almost never use these Prismacolors just because, yeah, I'm allergic to them. So that was kind of a waste of money. This is another set of pencils I got, which I actually like these a lot better than the Prismacolor ones. And these are by Derwent, and they're really thick pencils. And unfortunately, the only downside of these pencils is you only get 24 colours, but they are so nice. It's literally they're so they feel just so nice to use that when you use them it just feels like when you stick your finger in cream and like wiggle your finger around in a pot of cream, it just feels like that. They're so thick and lovely. I love these pencils. So I much prefer these over Prismacolors any day. They're really nice, so I recommend getting a set of these. And I've also got, because I went through a phase of trying out different kind of pencils, I bought some tinted charcoal ones, and I didn't really get on with these just because they're like really messy. They're really thick barreled and they're slightly different colours, but mainly I just found they create an awful lot of mess, so I've only ever used these ones and then not really used them again. And when I was really young I used to do most of my pictures with these like graphite pencils. They were just like regular up to like 8B and 2B and 3B and stuff, and they've been like well used over the years. I don't really use these as much anymore. I just use my standard little HB pencils, but these were like really good at the time. So that's it for pencils, apart from I've got some pastel pencils as well. These were actually from my grandmother when we cleared out her house. I ended up getting these. So yeah, I've got some more of these in a different set somewhere, which are quite good. They're the Derwent ones as well. Most of the stuff is all Derwent. I've also got some Inscribe chalk pastels as well, which these are really good. I use these all the time for backgrounds in my pictures because they're really cheap and they last like forever. They never seem to run out, and they're really easy just to do like simple backgrounds and stuff. And yeah, they're kind of messy, but it's kind of like I don't really mind this mess somehow, just because they look really pretty when you put the stuff on the page. So I really like these pastels, and I recommend the Inscribe chalk pastels. So yeah, that's it for pencils, I think. So this is like the first set of watercolor paints I ever had, and they were like tubed water colours by Winsor and Newton, and they were the cotman kind. So yeah, I used these for ages, and they still work. They're still gooey inside, so I can still use them. And I got this set when I was like 11 years old, so I've had that one a really long time. So that's my watercolours. And then when I got older, I finally decided to buy a set of the pan watercolours. Wow, if I can get into it. Anyway, I bought the pan watercolours instead, just because they were an awful lot easier to open than the tubes. The tubes, I found the lids got really badly stuck, so I bought this when I was in my 20s to replace the old watercolours, but I'm not a big fan of watercolours. I'm not very good at it. So those are my watercolours, and then I got sent a set of Aqua Markers once by someone I knew who was like, here, you can test them, and I got sent some Aqua Markers, which is effectively like sort of like watercolour in a pen, but it's like, it's not as good. I don't know why anyone would want these instead of actual watercolours. Watercolours in like a tube or a pan works a lot better than these watercolour pens. I'm not sure what the point of these are really. So that's that, and I've got an awful lot of like various brushes that I've collected over the years. I've got a whole like selection of random brushes in this box that either come free with stuff or just, I don't know, there's one that's all in a wrap here, which I've never used. They just tend to come free with like canvas and stuff. I've got an awful lot of canvases around somewhere. So yeah, there's a whole section of brushes. Not very interesting. This is my box of acrylic paints. This is the System 3 by Rowney, and they're like the best acrylic paints I've ever used. I adore these paints. I used them pretty much non-stop when I was at college. I did everything with these paints, and they last forever as well, and they're really cheap for like a tube. It's only like £3 for a tube, and then they last you literally years. They're really, really good paints, so I recommend these. So that's my acrylic stuff. So while I was at college, I was told to buy oil paints, and my god, I hated them. These are Rowney oil paints, and I bought them, and I've used them like a handful of times, and I just absolutely just hated them. They take forever to dry, and you have to use like turpentine, so I've got this entire bottle of turpentine that I've never used, and this stuff is like 7 years old now or something. I've like never used it apart from when I first bought it, and I hated oil paint so much that I actually ended up buying an water soluble oil kit. So these are like oil paints, but they're but you can use water instead of turpentine with them, and they're a lot easier to use, the water soluble oils, but I still hate them, and they have a really shiny, ugly look to them when you do pictures in them, and they're just these are all sticking to, oh my god, that one's leaked everywhere. That is revolting. So yeah, I haven't opened these in 7 years, but I own these disgusting things. Oh, that one's stuck in there. That's disgusting. So yeah, I don't recommend oil paint, but I know some people are absolutely brilliant with it. But me, I don't have the patience to like wait for stuff to dry and wait weeks, and then the dust all settles on your picture, and it's So this was something that I was forced to buy at college that I've never used since, and it's just like I wouldn't want to use it either. Like other stuff we were forced to buy when I was at college, conveniently stored in an egg box, is tempera paint. So tempera paint, if you don't know what it is, it's powdered paint. So it comes in these little jars, and the way you use them is you have to use egg white, and you mix the powder with egg white, hence the egg box, because I thought, funny twist. And anyway, it's a real pain, and it dries out really quickly, and it's just, I do not have the patience for it. It's worse than like any other paint. I don't know, I think oil's possibly worse than it, but it's still like really frustratingly boring. I didn't get on with like this stuff. They just seem to make things way too complicated. But I have seen people do brilliant things with tempera paint, so it's my tempera stuff in my little egg box. And I've also got some little inks that I've never used, and somewhere I've got some glass paints as well, but I've got no idea what actually happened to them, because I never actually used them. I bought like little pieces of glass because I was going to do like pretty glass paintings, and then I never used them. But I've got random pots of ink as well that I've never used. So that's it for I think all the painting stuff that I own. So for my inking pens, when I was young I started with the Staedtler brand. I hope I'm pronouncing these things right. But I started with these, and I actually really don't like these pens. I used to use them an awful lot when I did like comics and stuff. I'd line art everything with these pens, and they're really rubbish for pretty much everything. They're rubbish for if you want to do anything but inking, and they're really scratchy and nasty, so I don't really recommend these pens. But that's what I started with before I learned that there was better pens out there. And then I had these Letraset ones, sure, all black and Letraset-y, and I really like these because I use them with my marker pictures and everything. And then I wanted to try out the Copic ones, so I got a set of Copic ones, and I absolutely love the Copic Multiliners. I just love them. I got this set of all black ones, and then I got like other ones. I got the coloured ones as well. I got some coloured ones, and I got some sepia ones somewhere. And then I decided I wanted more colours, so I got like the SP Multiliners, which I keep in this little box. But I don't actually like the SP ones. Somehow they just don't seem to. They look really fluorescent and shiny on here, but they don't seem to like lay down ink as nicely as the other pens, so I don't really like using them that much. Like this pen is really useful. This is the 0.03 nib, and it's tiny, so this is like the most useful SP that I've got for doing really tiny details. But otherwise I just wish they did more of the coloured multiliners as the disposable ones, because I much prefer the disposable ones. And then I actually tried Zig Millennium Pen, because I heard that Karen E. Haley on YouTube uses Zig Millennium Pens. And I got this pen because I thought, oh, it'd be good to give it a try. And I actually really don't like it. It's got such a thick barrel that's really uncomfortable to hold and control. So I've never used this pen, and I don't really like it. That's one of the inking pens that I own. So for like white stuff, the highlighty things, I tend to use this Sakura Jelly Roll pen. This is like my favourite white pen. I've tried so many white gel pens, and so many of them suck really bad, and this was definitely my favourite. And then the Posca White is definitely my next favourite after that, because it's kind of like it literally just feels like white ink in a pen. It's like painting with it, so it's quite nice. So these are my two preferred pens for inking. So that's all the inking stuff I think that I've got. So next in my magical box of sweeties, I have all my glitter, and I love glitter. I'm like so addicted to glitter. I have so many bottles of this glitter, and it's Stickles glitter glue, and it's so shiny and fun. And I've got sequins, because at one point I was going to do an awful lot of like, I was going to make Christmas cards and stuff, and then I never got around to it just because I couldn't get a decent paper trimmer to get the paper the right length and stuff. And I've got this this like artificial like snow 3D glue stuff, and you're supposed to like squirt it on and make it all awesome and 3D sticky outy, but I never used that either. But I use the glitter so much because it's so shiny. My entire box of glitter. Got a where are you? Glitter pen as well. This is another gel pen thing. I've also got the ones that Copic do as well. The Copic Seep, not what they call Seep something. What are they? These things. The Copic, what are they called? Spicer? I have no idea. I can't pronounce it, but they're supposed to be done by Copic, and these things are awful. They're horrible. They're a waste of money. But I love the ones. These are the Sakura ones. Are really nice for glittery pens, and I love glitter. And I also have this like big ass glue gun. It's like terrifying and pink. This thing's really useful for like sticking stuff, but it's like it's so flipping huge and just looks evil. So I'm gonna attack you with my pink glue gun. Be afraid. So yeah, that's my shiny stuff collection. So next I'm on to the marker collection, and I started with Pro Markers. This is my giant flipping Pro Marker collection in this giant box. It's really heavy. These things are a pain in the ass to store because of their shape. Is really annoying. So anyway, I kind of made this giant box with little compartments out of random cardboard, and it's an old perfume box that I got given perfume in. So those are all my Pro Markers, and then I have this habit of when I start collecting stuff, I want to just have them all. It's really bad. It's like just addictive to collect things. So that was just my random Pro Marker collection, and then I found that Flex Markers existed, and Flex Markers are an awful lot better than Pro Markers. So then I bought lots of Flex Markers. So all my Flex Markers are still in their little plastic doodle things that they came in. And I've got another set somewhere that I'm not going to pick up, but you get the gist of I just keep them inside the little plastic containers that they came in. And then I found that Trier markers existed. I think I've got a very extensive marker collection because I just went a bit crazy. But I did have several birthdays within the time period that I was buying markers, so a lot of it was gifts and stuff. Like I got an entire set of grey markers from my uncle one Christmas, and I got a whole bunch more for one birthday. So it's not like I bought all of them myself, but I did spend an awful lot of money on my marker collection. So I've got quite a couple of tins of Trier markers as well. And then after I found out that markers existed and I bought all of these markers, I then found out about Copic Markers, and I bought some Copic Markers. So this is the main set of Copics that I started with. It was the 25th anniversary set. So yeah, I got this set just because they were black and shiny and they looked new. And then I had like some others because I struggled with like certain Letraset colours and not being able to get them to blend. So I did already have quite a few Copic greens. I bought a bunch of Copic greens. And I got a bunch of pinks as well because I struggled with getting Letraset pinks to blend. So I've got quite a collection of Copic greens and pinks as well. And I found this really awesome eBay guy, and I will put a link to his eBay thing because if you buy quite a lot of markers, he sends like free stuff, and he sent me like a ton of Copic wide markers. Like he sent me so many of these for free just because I was buying all my pens from this guy, and he sent me like 4 or 5 of these. Yeah, 5 of these Copic wides, which is pretty cool. So that's pretty much the extent of my marker collection. I have got like a few other Copics lying around because I obsessively collect stuff because I get addicted to collecting things. So yeah, I always use like this is my standard paper whenever I do marker work. It's almost always on this Letraset bleed proof paper. I've got like tons of other paper but I always end up going back to this one. This is like the old favourite paper for marker pictures. So that's pretty much it for all of my art stuff. I've got a few other random bits and bobs. I've got a packet of crayons that I got after I subscribed to the Mia Crescent like a year and a half ago. So I got this pack of crayons that I like hardly ever use. Oh, and I've got this really shitty set of metallic markers from Letraset as well. And they're terrible. I don't know why anyone would want these markers, because they've got such a thick nib that it's like you can't do anything decent with these metallic markers. So they're like completely useless practically. So yeah, there's only one other thing that I've got, and that is my graphics tablet that I bought after I dropped out of university. I bought a graphics tablet for myself, and it was a really cheap one, which was probably a mistake to get a really cheap one. So this was the tablet that I got, and I got it when I was 18 or something, or 19. And it's a really giant tablet. It is ridiculously big, and it's pretty much useless as well. Like every so often it will spontaneously cut out and stop working for like 10 seconds, and you're like, why aren't you working? It's really dumb, and it's got like this built-in thing where for some reason you cannot have it close to your computer. If you have it close to your computer, it will stop working. It is, I don't know what the hell the point of these tablets are, but it was like really cheap. It was like 30 quid, and it's got so much extra space around it. It is a really bad design of tablet, but since I don't do digital art, it doesn't really matter that it's a bit shitty. So I think that's pretty much everything that I've got in the way of art supplies. I probably missed a bunch of stuff, but it's probably like boring, useless stuff that I don't really use anyway, so I'm sure you don't care. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope I didn't bore you too much with all of my collection of art stuff that I've had been building on since I was like 11. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.